Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and I couldn't help but buy this kit. And if I buy something, I guess I have to review it for you, don't I? This is the Peterson's Kiwi pick set. It's called Kiwi semi-erroneously because it's actually designed with both New Zealand Kiwi and Australian, not Kiwi, lockpickers to develop a really good all-round kit. Not to spoil it, but they're right, this is actually a really good all-round kit. You can buy this from Peterson, or thinkpeterson.com, should I say, for about $170. Now that is expensive. That's about, trying to think, something like £150, something like that. So that is a lot of money. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tools, 3 tension wrenches. So we're talking about £10 a tool and a few tension wrenches plus a case. Maybe that makes it down to about £8 per pick. That isn't so bad. That's actually in line with what Peterson sell them for. The case is included, like I said. I got it for a lot less, but I think the website I got this off is sold out of these. They were selling them off as clearance, so I won't give you that link. It would be silly to do so. Nevertheless, I certainly didn't pay £150 for it. Where do we start? Well, let's start with the case. So the case itself is leather, made in India apparently. It's perfectly fine. There isn't any kind of like beading around the edge. There's which is a bit of a shame. So you can see the ends of the leather are there. I guess it just means that if you were to throw it around in your pocket or in your bag, it wouldn't last quite as long. But the stitching overall is very good. The case is very good, and it folds nice and flat, and the Velcro is nice and strong. I don't dislike this case whatsoever. I think it's actually quite nice. I just wish that it had sort of a little bit of beading around the edge so that it would have been a bit more rugged. It's a small, same around this flap here. It's a small complaint, but it's nevertheless an interesting kind of omission, I guess. What picks do you get? Well, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks and a driver, all in this bypass driver, all in this government steel. Now, Peterson's government steel is very strong, very good. Not quite as strong as max yield steel, but very, very good. It's got an excellent reputation, and it's in 25 thousandths, which is perfectly good. It isn't as thin as their purple handle 18 thousandths, which are designed for, these are called Euro Slenders. It's not quite as thin as that, but I find that these will get you into a lot of locks anyway. The overall finish as well is actually really good. Let's move it in a bit closer. Have a look at that. Those edges are rounded. So yeah, you could finish them off a bit more with some sandpaper, but I really don't think it's necessary. Out of the pack, these are great. And I really like the Peterson's half diamond. They really make a nice thin neck on these, which is really useful. You also get the half diamond, you get your snake rake in this Kiwi kit. And what I love about this is the snake rake itself is a real snake rake. It has a little peak at the front and behind. Sometimes these snake rakes are almost like half finished and they kind of end there, which I don't think is right, and it annoys me when I see that. So this is a really nice snake rake. It comes with a Peterson #1 hook. It's a classic. This is a really good hook. Anybody who uses it will like it. It also comes with a really nice long city rake. This is going to be a really nice rocker rake. And again, look at the finish on that. You can see down into the sort of valleys there in the bitting, and they're really smooth. I'm really impressed with that. Oh, for those of you who haven't used Peterson's picks before, in my opinion, these plastic handles are some of the best in the business. They grip really nice. They feel really great. There's plenty of feedback in there. I really like them. The only reason I don't tend to use Peterson's picks is because they are just expensive, and in the UK the postage is astronomical usually. So that's the only reason. There's nothing wrong with Peterson's picks at all. They're some of the best in the world in my opinion. It's just I don't tend to use them because they're so expensive. This was a bargain, like I said, so I had to buy it. You get a reach pick. I don't use these a lot, but this is a really nice one. A really nice deep reach, and I've heard these are very useful for manipulating medico locks, where you, and other locks where you have to manipulate the actual rotation of the key pins themselves. It comes with a kinetic rake or a W rake or a zip rake, and this is designed for zipping locks for the most part, although you can use it as a rocker or a double peak bow guitar, I guess, if you will. What would have been nice is a little extra metal just here under the second peak to give that bit there a bit more strength, because when you're zipping a lock you can sometimes catch a pin if you've got a bit too much tension on, and that can end up bending the tip. And I've done that before with the Southord one. It bent back, but it's definitely weakened it. You get a very useful reach with quite a wide tip actually on this. Not used such a wide tip on a reach pick before, but it looks okay. It's a bit like the Sparrow's high reach and things like that. So those are the picks. They're 25 thousandths. They're excellent quality, government steel, and you know, Peterson have a really good reputation for strong picks. Really well finished, and there's no filler in here. All of these are really useful. I hate kits when you've got like 12 different types of like a reach pick in there, and stuff like that. It just annoys me. You know, 15 types of half diamond, not interested. So this is a really nice basic kit. But then there's some really, well, it's a mixture of then some oddities and some really useful things. So we actually have and this is a really nice addition. This is actually a sort of a decoder and bypass tool designed for things like this lock, where you can feel the notches in an unshielded wheel on a combination lock, or you can access the actual locking mechanism and bypass the locks themselves by going in through side of the wheels. And this is obviously very, very thin. Where's my calipers again? So these are about 7 thousandths, 6.5 thousandths of an inch. So we're talking about something very, very thin there, designed to get in. I've used this and I've used a Sparrow's equivalent, and both are excellent. So that's a welcome addition. You also get the a bypass driver for American padlocks, and this is really good because I like messing around with bypasses and things like that. And I won't demonstrate it here because it can take a while to bed into the lock, but you basically go in through the keyway, get to the cam at the back and operate the lock. So that's a really nice addition. In some ways, that's what you know, these two things here made me kind of think, yeah, I will buy that kit because I wanted the Peterson's versions. This is interesting. I was thinking, oh, it's a key extractor. I hate broken key extractors. Nothing not wrong with them. It's just I don't really use them that lot. I mean, I'm not a locksmith, so I don't tend to use a lot of broken key extractor tools. I was going to file this down and make it into a pro for picking tubular locks. However, these teeth on here are really sharp, and I do have a couple of locks where we do have broken keys. I'd never normally do this on a demo as part of a review, but I throw this broken key in here, and that's in deep. I'm not going to be able to get hold of that any other way. I've struggled with harpoon picks before because they can be quite big to get in, but this I really like because you just get it in the lock and get it on top of the key and then drag back. And usually, if you get onto the key properly, you can just drag it out. I find that really, really clever and useful. So I'm going to keep it as it is for now. It might prove useful to me, and if it doesn't, it will get repurposed into a probe, and it should be grateful for it. Okay, what else do we get? We get some really odd additions for a picking kit. However, I don't think this is designed just for hobby pickers. It's probably designed for professionals as well. These are car lock extractor scissors, designed to go in and pinch the key and pull it out. They've got very sharp little teeth on, just like the sawtooth extractor there. The quality of these is really good. You get two of them. I'm not entirely sure why. The scissors themselves are reversed, so you get, in terms of which way round the, I guess, left-handed and right-handed scissors, if you will. And these are designed for going into car door locks like this one, where you have a wide enough keyway to go in and take out your key. So again, really useful if you are into automotive and you deal with a lot of broken picks. I don't, so these will not be going back into the kit itself. I don't know what to do with them. I'll probably give them away to somebody at some point. Okay, what else do we have? Well, well, I'll leave the tension wrenches out for a minute. Let's have a look at these two. These are really interesting. Well, first of all, let's have a look at the metal. Look at that. How thin is that? Why is it thin? Well, it's got an extremely clever purpose. These are really fascinating things. Look how thin that metal is. It's a, I mean, maybe I didn't zero that properly. Yeah, let's zero it and get a better reading. About 3.5 thousandths of an inch, and this one is again 3.5 thousandths of an inch. These are really clever. Basically, I've made a bend in see one as it is, and then one I've made a bend. Can you see at the tip there's a little finger? Why have I done that, you might ask? Well, what you're supposed to do is on a keyway which can take these, you slide these in by the side of the key itself down into the keyway, and what will happen is it will allow you to slide it in, and that finger will get behind one of the key cuts and then drag it out that way. I mean, that is really innovative, isn't it? But I don't have any kind of Schlage Quickset or some of those wider Lockwood keyways in my collection, and certainly even if I did, I don't have any broken keys, so I might just give these away to some friends I have in New Zealand. You know, they might have a use for these. I don't, and the metal is so thin I couldn't even repurpose it as a decoder. It's just remarkably thin. Very nice, but remarkably thin. So I can't repurpose these, but I do have a couple of friends who might find them useful. In terms of tension tools, everybody knows that you can't pick locks without tension tools, and I like these. These are the Peterson's ones with the little teeth on, which will hopefully grip into the lock and stop it from slipping. One noticeable thing is you get two thicknesses of tension wrench. I like the small ones. They're finished quite nicely, and you get one Z wrench out in the smaller thickness. They're perfectly good. They tension a lot of locks. They're small enough to kind of get you into you know, Euro locks and things like that as well. So they grip on really nicely. They don't tend to slip very much. I really like these. It's a nice welcome addition. What is absent? Well, noticeably absent is Peterson. They've done a really good job. There's no filler in these picks at all. Some really useful bypass tools. I genuinely like what there is in here. Genuinely, I do. So I think it's a great kit. Okay, so I don't have use for those scissor extractors, but that's just me. But they don't have pry bars. Now, these aren't Peterson pry bars, but you know, why not throw in 3 pry bars? That now makes a pretty serviceable kit. The only other additions, if I could have swapped out those other key extractors for a gem and a medium hook and a shorter hook, throw that in. Now you've got like an amazing carry kit for tons and tons and tons of locks. So in conclusion, we're at 13 minutes already. So in conclusion, case very nice, could just be a bit better finish, but overall really pleased with it. Love the fact it's got some bypass drivers. I quite like this sawtooth extractor, so that's actually going to stay in my kit. Didn't expect that. All the picks that you get are not fillers. They're all really good. It would have been nice to have maybe a bow guitar in there, but do you know what, other than that, yeah, I've got some spare bow guitars. I can throw one in if I wanted to. It's got a double peak, that's good enough. And it's you know, if I put these ones in there as well, that's going to make a really awesome Peterson's kit for myself. Is it worth 170 US dollars? I don't know. I think that's a lot to ask for what you get. However, I can tell you that these are some of the best quality picks you can get. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. I wouldn't really like to say. I'm very pleased with what I've got, but I think Peterson do slightly overprice their stuff, despite the fact that the quality of them is really excellent. Anyway, hope you found that interesting. I'll have fun with this kit, and I will see you next time.